Hello there, this is Ina from Crochet Realm. I am back with my top or sweater. I just wanted to talk about the size of this garment. This is an SM size top. For a skinny person, this is gonna fit just right? For a full M, it's gonna be tight and snug. Each size is different if you have to make the top for different sizes, and that means I cannot talk about large or extra large sizes because that would be a totally different top, a totally different construction. So just to let you know that this is a SM size top for those who are making it. Maybe one day when I make larger sizes, I will make videos and I'll talk about that too. But right now, not to confuse you too much, I'm just saying that we're gonna focus on this exact top. Okay, so I'm ready to start showing you how I join the motifs to each other, paying attention to the construction of the top at the same time, and I'll get started. Like I said in the first video, the very first motif will always be a fully finished motif. And the next motif, you have to work up until the last round of the motif. And that's where I am here right now, ready to start the last round. So chain 1, single crochet into the same space, chain 2, work one full shell. I never like to join the motif starting with the first shell. I will make a full shell and then I'll start joining the other ones. And let me show you something here. This motif has 16 shells. You are gonna divide them into 4 parts as if it was a square. If you do this, hold on a second, this and this, if you do this, it looks like an exact square, but I'm not gonna make it like, I'm not gonna join it as a square, but it is still a round motif. That's why we are gonna be joining 3 shells. That would be one side. One shell is gonna be free, like it will result a space here between 4 of them. And then the next side will be another 3 shells. One corner shell, let's call it like that, will be free. And then another side with 3 shells, one corner shell free, and the last one. To simplify your understanding, I'm gonna bring some stitch markers and I'm gonna mark the corner shell. So here are my stitch markers. I'm just gonna insert a stitch marker into any shell like that. I'll count 3 of them and then I'll put a stitch marker into a next 4th. These marked shells are gonna be our corner shells, the ones that we will not join yet. So if this is easier for you, you can do the same thing. I don't do it anymore because I know these motifs by heart already, and I've done so many tops that I can do it with my eyes closed. But you guys, if you've never done this before, it's better to mark your corner shells. Okay, one more here, like that. All right. I didn't weave in the end yet. That's fine. I can weave it in at the end when I'm finished with the whole top. You can weave it right away. It depends on each one's preferences. So, like I said, the first shell, I'm not gonna join it. I'm just gonna work it here so I know that this is my first shell. So double crochet into the next space, picot out of chain 3, slip stitch into the third chain from hook, second double crochet into the same space, second picot, third double crochet into the same space, and third picot. And last double crochet into the same space. Now chain 2, single crochet into the next space. So our first shell is finished. Now I'm gonna start joining the motif to the previous one with the second shell, and namely chain 2, double crochet into the next space, every shell has 3 picots, so the first picot is not gonna be joined. I'm just gonna work a full picot. Chain 3, slip stitch in the third chain from hook, work a double crochet into this same space, like that. I had to join some new yarn because I had something else done previously with this, and then I changed my mind and I had to unravel and work these motifs. Okay, so starting with the second picot, we're gonna start joining. Chain 1, we're gonna do the second chain into the motif. We're gonna do, so if we put them together like this, it's a symmetry. So this shell is gonna join that shell. Also, first picot you leave out the middle picot. You join to the middle picot because your first picot here is free, so you leave that one free. The next one gets joined. Insert the hook into the picot of the previous motif and slip stitch. So it looks, to your working picot, it looks like it's a chain 2, right? And we need another chain to finish the picot. So slip stitch into the third chain from hook and work another double crochet into your working space here. And now if you look, okay, look here, there's another picot left to be joined, and we have to work this picot here into this working space. So we just continue. After the double crochet, we work our new picot, but also we join it. So chain 1, the next chain is gonna go into the picot, and it's gonna be a slip stitch like this. See? Chain 3 and finish your picot with a slip stitch into the third chain from hook, and finish your shell with one more double crochet. I am very, I like to visualize things before I make them, so for me it's easy to understand when I can see what happens. Alright, so 2 picots are joined. The first one is always gonna be free. So the first picot of the 3 shells is gonna be free. The next 2 picots join, the next shell join all the picots. The third shell is gonna join only the first 2 picots, and the last one is gonna be 3 because we have to have a symmetry like this and like that. Okay, let's continue. So we complete our shell by chain by chaining 2, single crochet into the next space. Basically we work the motif following the pattern. It's just in this row we're simply joining it to the previous motif. Chain 2 again, next shell, double crochet into the next space. This is a joining picot already, so chain 1, join to the next picot of the previous motif, chain 1, and finish your picot into the third chain from hook of your working motif. Now next double crochet, next joining picot, chain 1, join to the next picot of your previous motif. There are so many words, I simply get confused when a written pattern repeats the same thing over and over. Okay, slip stitch into your third chain from hook. So you completed that picot. Double crochet into the same space, and the last picot of this shell gets to be joined to the last picot of the shell of the previous motif with a slip stitch and chain 1. Finish this picot and double crochet into the same space. Okay, so pretty much it looks like this so far, like this. When you're gonna wear the garment, these things are gonna get stretchy, really stretchy. I mean, this is wool, so maybe not that stretchy, but if it was cotton, it would sit and you wouldn't even know where you joined it. Okay, let's finish this shell. Sorry about that, I have hooks laying around everywhere. So we're chaining 2 to end this shell. Single crochet into the next space. Beginning the next shell, chain 2, double crochet into the next space. Now this is our third shell. Our third shell joins only the first 2 picots. So chain 1, slip stitch into the next picot of previous motif. Yeah, somewhere there, anywhere in that picot. Chain 1 and finish your working picot with a slip stitch like this. Next double crochet into this same space, and the last joining picot, chain 1, join it to that picot with a, hold on a second, not as easy as I thought. So slip stitch, right? Chain 3, chain the third one. Slip stitch in the first chain from hook, and third double crochet into this same space, and we need one more picot to have a symmetry with, like here with this one. So don't forget about the picot. Every time I would forget it, that would be considered as a mistake, and when I get to join to the according motif, when it comes the time to join on these sides, then I realize that I had a mistake, and I can't unravel everything, right? So I have to kind of improvise. But we're gonna work this picot, and we're not gonna have a mistake here. Usually, in my case, I can have 1 or 2 missed picots per top. That's pretty good, I guess, but still I like no mistakes in a garment. I'm just so picky like that. So we have joined one side of this motif. Next, we're gonna work the corner shell, which is not gonna be joined. It's a totally free shell, free of joining, that is. So chain 2, single crochet into the next space, next shell, chain 2, double crochet in the next space, picot, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch in the third chain from hook, second double crochet into the same space, second picot out of 3, third double crochet into the same space, third picot like this, and last double crochet of this shell, chain 2 and single crochet into the next space. Okay, so our corner shell is done. Since we don't have any more motifs on either side of this motif, we're just gonna continue working the shells till the end of the round. That's it. Nothing else is required of you right now, just to finish this round. Alright, so I'm done with my row. I'm at the end of my round. So I'm gonna slip stitch into the first single crochet of this last round, chain 1, and a little tip here, it is talk from experience, from my own mistakes. Don't cut the thread until you've made sure that all your shells have all 3 picots on them. Like, check first that you have all the 3 picots on each shell, and after that, once you have that, you can cut this thread or yarn and weave it in. Like I said, sometimes I skip picots because I'm rushing, and you know, haste makes waste, so we don't want to do that here. We want quality, not quantity. So I'm gonna go ahead and weave in these ends because I don't have any mistakes here, so it's gonna be a lot easier to work on with the next ones. Again, I don't need to do this, but you need to if this is the first time you are joining motifs. Since these 3 ones were joined, mark your corner shell with stitch markers. Yes, with stitch markers. 1, 2, 3, fourth one we mark. I never marked them, not even when I was doing it for the first time, but I'm thinking that it's easier if you mark them until you get used to this process. 1, 2, 3, fourth one. What else? I don't know what else to say right now, but we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and weave in these ends, and then I'll see you for my next motif to join. Just the last stitch marker here into this corner shell. So you're gonna notice that once you're gonna have let me do this. Once you're gonna have, let's say, 4 motifs joined together like this and one here, all these stitch markers will face each other because a square, like a square space, will result at the joining of 4 motifs together. If you join only 3, you're still gonna have this square, like this invisible line here. All right, I'll get to the next motif. Okay, so Since this represents another shoulder and here was a shoulder, this is the next row we started, the next row of motifs. The next motif will be here. We'll join to these 3 shells. Okay, let me get started. I'm gonna just lay my phone. Hopefully it's gonna be comfortable. So I have my motif ready up to the last round. So like I said in the previous motif, first shell is gonna be completely done. So chain 1 to start the row, single crochet in this same space, chain 2, and work the shell into the next space, double crochet, picot out of chain 3, another double crochet, picot, second picot actually that is. All right, now third double crochet, third picot, and okay, and last double crochet into this space, chain 2, single crochet into the next space. So our first shell is done. Starting with the next shell, we're gonna join to this side, of course, since it's gonna be like this. Chain 2. So basically we repeat everything that we did in the previous video. Double crochet into the next space, first picot is free, if you remember. That's important because this picot will be joined with the square joining between the 4 motifs. So we're gonna have use for it later, but not now. Double crochet. Okay, next picot is to be joined. Chain 1, pick up your motif that you are joining with exactly the side that you need to join. So this, in my case, is this one. And join to the second picot of this shell. So slip stitch and then chain 1 and finish your picot. Double crochet into this same space. I'm gonna move my phone a little bit. Okay, next picot is to be joined to this picot of the previous motif. Okay. Chain the third one. And now slip stitch into the third chain from hook and the last double crochet into this space. All right, like this. Chain 2, single crochet into the next space. So that was one shell joined. Now we have to join the next shell. Chain 2, double crochet into the next space, joining picot, chain 1 and join to the next available picot of the previous motif, chain 1, slip stitch into the third chain from hook into your working motif, double crochet into the same space, another joining picot, chain 1, slip stitch into this next picot, chain 1 again, slip stitch into the third chain from hook, like this, double crochet into the same space, and last joining picot of this shell, come on. I need to have only two loops on the hook here in order to join, because then it's too bulky. So chain 1 more and then come back and slip stitch into your third chain from hook, and last double crochet of this shell. So we joined the second shell, chain 2, slip stitch into this next space, single crochet, I'm sorry, and then chain 2, and this is the last shell to be joined on this side, double crochet into this next space, another joining picot. So you always turn your work and you join, like going with the hook from the wrong side into that previous motif. Like slip stitch here and then chain 1, come back into your working motif, slip stitch into the third chain from hook, double crochet into the same space, chain 1, go back into your previous motif from the wrong side outwards, join with a slip stitch, chain 1, come back into your working motif, slip stitch here, and one more double crochet into this space. Since this is our third shell, the third picot is gonna be free just like here. So we're mirroring, there's a symmetry, there's a mirroring, whatever, but it has to be the same for every motif. So this picot, we're not joining, we're just making it. Being careful not to skip any picots. So, and the last double crochet of this shell. Now chain 2, single crochet into this next space, and now the next shell is gonna be the corner shell, so just work a shell, chain 2, double crochet, next space, picot, out of chain 3, slip stitch into the third chain from hook, second double crochet into the same space, second picot, third double crochet, third picot, and fourth double crochet, chain 2, and single crochet into the next space. Okay, so the same, just like the previous motif. Here you don't need to do anything else other than finish this round till the end, till here. You can mark this corner shell for you to know, and I'll see you here at the end of this round. So I'm done with my fourth motif. It was joined here on this side, and this is going to be in the middle, you know, this is going to be the neckline. So we need one more motif here. I have one that I made, and this one is going to be joined on this side, one corner motif, and then another 3 shells joined, and then freely go till the end. So I'm ready to start my next row, my last row of this new motif. Chain 1 single crochet into this space, chain 2. So you remember the first shell is always free. You just work a complete shell here, the first one. Double crochet in the next space, picot, another double crochet, picot, third double crochet, third picot, and last double crochet of this shell. Chain 2, single crochet into the next space. This is going to be our first corner, if we think about it. And then the next 3 shells we join to this side, like this, okay? On this side first, so you're going to join that on your own, and then you're going to have a corner shell, which you can mark, and then the next 3 shells you're going to join on that side. And then all the rest are going to be free shells up until the end of the row. I'm going to join these 3 and I'll meet you at the corner. Okay, so I joined my motif on this side and I made my corner. Next 3 shells are going to be joined to this motif. So it really doesn't matter in which shell you start here, since this is just a motif, a full motif. I'll be joining the next 3, for example, the first one that comes to under my hand. Join this side too. Without me, I'll meet you at the end here. Just a quick reminder that when the 3 shells are joined, don't forget to leave the first picot open, like free, unjoined, okay? So 1 is free, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are joined, and the next one, the last one, is also free. And then you have the corner with 3 picots, and then join this side. Okay, so I joined this upper side. It actually doesn't matter what side you're joining, because the joining process is always the same, as long as you respect the corners, to leave the corners free. I'm gonna just sort of put a marker on the corners. Now that you've joined this to this motif, now you can see which are the corners. So 3 free, 1 corner, 3 free, 1 corner, 3 free, 1 corner. You know what I mean, right? Once you've joined here, you can put the markers into each corner. And the same here. Once you're gonna finish this round, you can put the markers into each corner. Okay, my motif is done, this one. I'm gonna give you some homework. We need to add to this front piece 6 more motifs. So 3, 1 row, and another 3 in the last row. The joining will be absolutely the same. First you join this side, this motif will be joined on this side and this side. The third motif, like the second, on this side and on this side. And the same thing you repeat for this row. So next time when I see you in my next video, I will have another 6 motif joined to this front piece. Because in the next video we're gonna start with the back. Bye!